JD Vance, the vice presidential running mate of Donald Trump, he calls Kamala Harris a childless cat lady. And my goodness, did the internet respond? All right, here it is.
That we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made. And so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it?
With millions watching, and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Damn. JD, I have a different point of view. People like Trump should not have children. And it's evident. So this is where you want to go. Put them up full mass. I mean, they don't have much here. Per Midas Touch, a recently resurfaced interview with Tucker Carlson when JD Vance was running for Senate. He called VP Kamala Harris and other in-office female Democrats, as well as the only openly gay male Democrat, quote, miserable, childless cat ladies who didn't have a stake in America because they don't have natural-born children. The backlash for that comment has been swift, with actress Jennifer Aniston getting in on the action, who rarely makes political comments, sending the following message to Vance on Wednesday. She wrote, quote, I truly can't believe this is coming from a potential VP of the United States. All I can say is, Mr. Vance, I pray that your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day. I hope she will not need to turn to IVF as a second option, because you are trying to take that away from her too. The actress has previously shared details of her own struggles with IVF, telling Allure magazine in November 2022, quote, it was a challenging road for me, the baby making road. Conservative commentator and The View alum, Meghan McCain, blasted Vance for his past commentary on Thursday morning, warning his words had caught the attention of even conservative women. McCain issued her warning after Jennifer Aniston reacted to the clip of Vance on Carlson's now dismissed program. McCain echoed Aniston's disgust in a post on X, quote, I have been trying to warn every conservative man I know. These JD comments are activating women across all sides, including my most conservative Trump-supporting friends. These comments have caused real pain and are just innately unchristian. This is not who we are. Damn it, it is who you are, Meghan. Embrace it. This is who you guys are. But it is ironic. This guy has been a net negative for Donald Trump. Independents don't like him. His numbers are bad. And now he has liberal and conservative white women against him. This is great. Pete got into the action. Here it is.
I should note you have two children. They were born before Pete gave that answer. Harris is also a stepmom to children as well. But what's your response to that?
The really sad thing is he said that after Chasten and I had been through a fairly heartbreaking setback in our adoption journey. He couldn't have known that, but maybe that's why you shouldn't be talking about other people's children. And it's not about his kids or my kids or the vice president's family. It's about your family, people's families whose well-being will depend on whether we go into a future led by somebody like Kamala Harris, who is focused on expanding the prosperity, the freedom, the well-being of our families. And by the way, especially if you have kids and you're worried about climate, choosing between a party that has a plan on climate that creates jobs and a party that still calls it a hoax, even as we went through the hottest day in world history. Or do you want your children to grow up in a country defined by a return to the chaos and recrimination and cruelty that was the hallmark of the Trump era?
Yeah. Meanwhile, per the Daily Beast, JD appearance in the Project 2025 head Kevin Roberts' new book raises eyebrows. Advertised on the cover of the new book is the sentence, "Forward by JD Vance." Yeah. So Project 2025 has been in the forefront of a lot of news. Obviously, it is unprecedented in its proclamations. The book, Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America, released September 14th, promises, quote, Heritage Foundation president and Project 2025 head Kevin Roberts announces the arrival of a new conservative movement. The book's Amazon page goes on to describe that, quote, the swamp, a notably Trumpian phrase, is so drunk on power that the elites don't realize the ground is moving beneath their feet. Vance even left a review of the book on the Amazon page, writing, quote, never before has a figure with Roberts' depth and stature within the American right tried to articulate a genuinely new future for conservatism. We are now all realizing that it's time to circle the wagons and load the muskets. In the fights that lay ahead, these ideas are an essential weapon. End quote. Project 2025 had earlier told Newsweek, Project 2025 does not speak for any candidate campaign. When pressed by Newsweek, Vance's office referred to the Ohio senator's comments on NBC News, Meet the Press on July 7th. Quote, I want to be clear here that Trump explicitly said his own transition team runs the Trump transition and will run the Trump administration. Again, you have a whole host of organizations, some of which have good ideas, some of which have bad ideas, and some of which have both. End quote. All right. Welcome to the part where they explain to you what the hell they meant by MAGA, Make America Great Again. They're trying to give you the answer now. All right, Yasmin, thoughts here.
The idea that, first of all, the idea that people who are miserable just want to go out and make other people miserable, perhaps that is true in some cases, but don't most miserable people just stay at home and just be miserable on their own? If women in this country are childless, it is largely in part because of legislation from Republicans that has made it untenable or impossible for women who want to have children to have those children. I am one of them. I would love to have children, but I'm living in Texas and I am more than hesitant to get pregnant right now in my state. And my hesitation is entirely the result of Republican policies in my state. Now they're working against IVF to make things difficult for women who are willing to work and pay all of that money to have children. For the women who want to have children desperately, they want more than anything to have these children, and they want to make it more difficult for those women to do so. And Jennifer Aniston, she knows that struggle, and we all know her struggle. She is a national treasure as much as any celebrity can be. And so many women have been with her through the decades, through her relationship struggles and her fertility struggles. Yeah. And as you said, not everyone who has children is a good parent to those children, right? Having children, being a parent is not indicative of the fact that you are a better person or that you have a better stake in the future of this country. And coming from Republicans, this is so rich because they are destroying the planet actively, because in capitalism, all that matters is the bottom line, the next quarter, the immediate future. And then beyond that is somebody else's problem, right? That somebody else's problem is their own children, the children that they're so happy to have. They're making the planet unlivable for them actively and intentionally. And then on top of that, you have parents who just don't want their children. You have children who are in foster care systems, children who cannot get adopted, living in orphanages, whatever the case is. And again, Republicans are making lives more difficult for those children. They're making it more difficult for those children to find families. Everything they're doing is so anti-child, and yet they want to say that the Democrats are these child-hating. I don't even know what the point is that they're trying to make, just the fact that we're just not as good people. And also, the Republicans seem to not have any kind of empathy or capacity for it, or any kind of compassion for others who are not them, who are not their immediate family members. Because why would I care as a childless woman what the future looks like? I care for everybody else's children, okay? I care for the people that I love who are here. I care for all the people who will come, because I do. Not because I don't have my own children means that I'm incapable of feeling that, but they seem to really not understand that concept.
Yeah, and they don't seem to understand the concept of raising children in a household that may not be biologically yours. I was a foster kid. And some of those foster families did not have biological children. But when I tell you they're some of the greatest people I've ever met on this planet, they are. All right.